We are live, everybody, with the No DQ review, episode number 114. We are coming off a very successful episode number 113. Let me throw it over to our moderator, Virtue. We got some big topics tonight. I suspect we're going to get huge numbers for tonight. How's it going, man?
What's up, No DQ Galaxy? This is the No DQ review number 114. I almost wanted to take a week off so I could let some legit news build up. And then John Cena got in the headline. So I was like, okay, we will do a show tonight. So what's up, everybody? This is the elite panel of No DQ. And tonight it's myself, the boss man Aaron Rift, the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham, and of course, back once again, Big Baller G. What's up? Blah, blah. See, I was looking at Big Baller G, trying to shoot a basket. What's up, man? What's going on?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, we had an interesting week in wrestling. The 1-year anniversary of Dynamite happened last night. Other than that, you know, I'm doing good. Enjoying the football season while it lasts. Other than that, I'm great, man. Good old JM. How you doing, brother?
I'm busy, man. I actually just finished premiering this week's Rewind on the Wrestling Rewind on the WWE Network, which Dylan and I actually watched an old episode of Superstars. It was the first wrestling I ever saw on TV. It was, and I didn't know this going into it when we did the taping. It was the episode of Superstars where the Brother Love show featured the blinding of Jake Roberts. So I was like, what the hell? And the whole time I was like, whoa, I can't believe this is on here. And Dylan's like, I don't get it. It's so funny to watch him watch it through 12-year-old eyes 30 years later. It was just very funny. But that was today. It's been a busy week in general on my network. It's been busy in wrestling. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of news. And then, like Virtue said, all of a sudden, you know, the news just breaks yesterday and off we go to the races with John Cena. So
here we are. Well, thank you for being on, Jeff, last minute, because I don't know, someone no-showed. Anyway,
it is
Aaron,
what it is.
What's up?
Yeah, we were going to have TJS on tonight, but he mysteriously disappeared. Hopefully he's okay. Best wishes to TJS wherever he's at. Maybe his internet just had an issue. Who knows? But
very likely.
Thank you for coming on, good old JM, at the last minute. We do appreciate it.
Glad to do it. Glad to do it. And I also want to send wishes out to Greg and his family. They're dealing with some major poopy stuff right now. So definitely thoughts and prayers with them.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about some of the topics that we have. Got a lot of traffic the other day because of the news that John Cena got married. I'm curious to get everybody's takes on that. And he also will now be the official spokesperson for Honda. That's a pretty big deal for him. But yes. Virtue, go ahead and get us started with the first topic.
All right. Well, Aaron, let's talk final thoughts of the WWE Draft. And boy, it's just such a discombobulated mess the way they do this. Some picks don't feel important because of where they're at. Some people don't even get picked, and then they're free agents. Come on. But, I mean, some notables, you know, Smackdown got the whole Rollins and Mysterio angle over there. Daniel Bryan stayed on Smackdown. I believe that's where he was. That's interesting to me because I've been clamoring for a Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan feud that they passed on last year for the future again, because I love that match they had several years back at Fastlane. Kevin Owens is now over there, of course, as goes Aleister Black. It's weird how some of the feuds go too. New Day is now on Raw, but Big E is on SmackDown. AJ Styles is on Raw. Jeff Hardy is on Raw. And of course, there are others. But Retribution, a whole faction picked to Raw. The anti-establishment group got chosen by the place they've been wrecking. And, of course, Lars Sullivan returns, and I believe he's going to be on SmackDown. Yeah. And Elias returns. So what's everybody's thought? That's a big piece of the pie here for one topic, but there's a lot to talk about, so you don't feel to rush through. Big G, I'm going to start with you. Thoughts on the draft? Who landed where? What feud you'd like to see? And the returns.
I thought it was very interesting this year. Raw and SmackDown had some great picks. They had some okay picks. Apparently, Andrade and Mickie James are going to stay on Raw. Mickie has a broken nose, so she's getting surgery. Andrade is taking elective surgery, so he's going to be out for a while. Honestly, I would like Andrade to go back to NXT. They need people down there, especially with Karrion Kross being out and possibly Finn Balor being out with his recent jaw surgery. You need somebody big back down there, and I think Andrade would be perfect. I think Mickie James would be perfect in NXT too. Lars Sullivan being back. I mean,
well, he's not only back, but the controversy surrounding him returned
exactly.
as well.
So, and I don't know what to say about Lars Sullivan. Let's see. Let's see what happens with him in the next couple weeks, next couple months,
Benefit
and see.
of the doubt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if he leaves, it's no big deal. I mean, he really didn't do much before, all this controversy surrounded him in the beginning, and now, anyways, Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns. That is one of the feuds I do want to see. I do want to see maybe a baby face Seth Rollins versus a heel Roman Reigns again. That'll be interesting. I mean, yeah, we always have the roles reversed, but it's always a great match. Always great storytelling. Especially, maybe, or have both heels, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, and the Friday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, and just have them.
SmackDown savior. Let's be clear.
Okay, the SmackDown savior. Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
KO's on SmackDown too.
Who?
There you go.
Kevin Owens.
Yep. I would like to see Owens versus Sami Zayn again for the IC title. That'd be a great match. On the Raw side,
is Elias officially on Raw?
Yeah, he's on Raw.
Yes.
So obviously we're gonna get Elias versus Jeff Hardy, which should be great. I do want to see the Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. That'll be a great.
Yeah, I forgot to mention him because I wrote so sloppily his name down. It looked like it said Fed.
I'm glad WWE was smart and they put Alexa Bliss on Raw and didn't end that storyline, because I would have shoot the shit literally if they I was like, that's one of the best storylines besides Roman Reigns and Jey Uso that WWE has done right, in a long time. Other
Miz
than that,
and Morrison are on Raw now too.
yeah, Miz and Morrison are Raw. Heavy Machinery broke up. They're split. I feel I think this is what Otis really needed. That way he can get his big push. I think Tucker is going to be pushed in the back somewhere back in catering with Ricochet now.
I think Otis brought our numbers on the review down last week, is what I think.
So too.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, the New Day. I mean, they've been together for 5 years, and now I think this is the opportunity to push Big E against Roman Reigns for the Universal title.
Yeah,
I would love to see that match. Other than that, let's see what happens. Still gonna do this cross brand thing where like every quarter they can switch, go on the different brand and whatnot. Other than that, that's all I gotta say, Aaron.
Well, I think that's the longest you've ever talked for a segment on the NoDQ review. That's all I got to say.
Especially with me on.
Right there. What a way to start the show.
Top that,
right,
Jeff.
Yeah, now and then we're going to Jeff about.
I don't intend to, honestly. But go ahead, Aaron. Since you were throwing the ball, go right ahead.
Well, I'm going to go last because I said so.
Well, fine. It is your channel after all, so I guess you have that authority. I was underwhelmed by the draft. I'll be honest. I kind of half watched both shows because I didn't really care what happened. I did use my one daily F-bomb on the NoDQ side of things when simulcasting, talking about Alexa and Bray staying together, because I think I was effing awesome that they kept that going, because they're finally doing something worthwhile with Alexa besides this bogus, well, I'm friends with Nikki Cross, but the dark side's still within me. It's like now she's like full-blown Sister Abigail style. I love it. I think she has a better Sister Abigail finisher than Bray does, personally. I mean, that's just me chiming in with the chat room here. I would like to see Roman and Daniel. I would like to see, I personally would be very surprised if they had Seth go away for his paternity leave and then come back as a babyface. But if they do it right and they have him be the one to take the briefcase off of Otis, which we talked about yesterday on Talk Wrestling with a few people, Colin was on with me and we did a conversation about that. If they have Rollins take the briefcase off of Otis and then go away somehow in storyline, but actually for the paternity stuff, when he comes back, a babyface briefcase holder could be detrimental to Roman's place atop the tribe. I think that'd be an awesome way to go.
Jeff, what about any feuds like besides like Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns? What about Raw? Who could be now? We have Orton versus McIntyre, and we'll talk about predictions later this month. But any top contenders come out of this for McIntyre? AJ Styles back there again, maybe at some point?
AJ's the obvious answer to that, I think. I think that now that AJ is 100% where he wants to be, which is no offense to Paul, but away from Paul Heyman once and for all, I feel he can be properly motivated and established as a top contender. I'd love to see McIntyre and AJ Styles for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I think that's the way to go. They can hold that long enough where they can build that starting maybe Survivor Series and then build toward the Rumble. Actually have a decent build for a match, God forbid. Again, you mentioned The Fiend and Orton going toe-to-toe again. We really didn't get a definitive. I mean, Orton beat Bray at WrestleMania in that ridiculous match that we all just whatever. But I'd like to see The Fiend get a little taste, a little time with Randy Orton, because I think there's definite possibilities there, especially if they're going to market The Fiend as a babyface or at least a fan favorite. I think that's a good way to go there as well.
Great points. All right. Now, Aaron, thank you, Jeff. Back to you, Aaron. Now you can go.
Okay, well, TJS just chimed in with a $20 super chat. He is here. He says...
Apology accepted.
Yes, absolutely. That's one way to be cool with everybody. Okay. He says, good evening, man. I apologize for my absence. Work had me stay late, and I just got off. I cannot have my phone because I work with classified/sensitive info. Please explain why Raw would only choose Kofi Kingston and Woods and not Big E.
Because Vince said so?
Well, wait a minute. Wasn't it where Raw picked Kofi and Woods and then immediately SmackDown picked Big E? Is that how it went in the order?
Yeah.
Well, either way, TJ has a good point. If you're thinking from a fan perspective, why aren't they picking all three?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yet they took all of Retribution.
Yeah, it made no
okay,
sense.
Yeah, thank you. Don't you think you're right? So I'm sorry. I know I'm taking your time. I apologize.
Oh, that's
what the hell is this Retribution thing? First of all, they're tearing shit up. Then, okay, well, we'll sign you to exclusive contracts so you don't screw up stuff up. And they're still beating people up. And then, okay, we'll draft you to make sure you stay here. What the hell kind of backwards booking is that?
Dude, and at the top of that, Jeff, Aaron, did they promote Ali's promo for Raw that never happened?
They did promote it.
Yes, they did. They sure did.
This is a group that does whatever they want, and they can't even get their promo time. Think about
when it comes to trying to get
so
TV time, even Retribution, they're unable to make
break that glass ceiling.
They should have just swapped players back and forth and just announced them and never made a Stephanie McMahon have to come out and announce everybody. Tozawa. Sorry, Eric.
Yeah. How is Tozawa the last pick and not Mickie James or Andrade? I'm asking for a friend here.
Because he's a ninja?
Yeah, he's a ninja.
Shit, excuse me.
Anyways, that was my biggest issue. The fact that a lot of draft picks did not make any sense. And I really think that we needed general managers for this. Stephanie McMahon coming out there just reading one person after another and sometimes spur of the moment picks. Like, who's making these picks? Like, I just don't understand it.
Pulling out of his ass.
Yeah, so.
Well, I mean, last year when SmackDown premiered on Fox, they were alleging that it was USA executives and Fox executives. They didn't even try to maintain that BS this year.
Right, yeah, they didn't even do that, which I wasn't a fan of that, but at least it was something.
It made sense.
We had Adam Pearce come out and name some of the draft picks, you know?
He could walk over to the SmackDown side, read off the name, and then put on like his other outfit for the SmackDown brand and run over and do SmackDown.
Make us
Dance, Pearce, dance.
I mean, we had to live through the Raw anonymous GM, so they can't be. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, what about Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus as far as possible matchups go?
There you go.
Yeah, I can see that being on a Monday Night Raw episode. I don't think it's going to be on a pay-per-view, but yeah.
They got to build Sheamus up to make any worth out of that other than just a Raw main event.
TLC. Let's keep that in mind. So.
Yeah, you could do that, but overall, I was entertained by SmackDown's side of it, and then Raw, I was just kind of like, eh. I was tired of it by that point. It was just becoming repetitive. And also, I wanted to hear Ali. I was pissed about that. That was the second most annoying thing. The most annoying thing for me this week was Miro, but we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in a couple minutes.
Oh, boy.
Oh, well, nice segue, Aaron, because if are you all set on your talk about the draft? I know you already kind of cover that stuff. So
yeah.
Okay.
As
Well,
did
we'll
I.
go to topic number 2, and that's Dynamite's 1-year anniversary. I'm watching this show. I'm live tweeting, and I try not to say negative stuff, and I point out the good stuff. MJF is great. Him and Jericho were good. The fans in attendance were kind of quiet, which is, it's almost like if you're not giving them rope-to-rope wrestling, they don't know how to react. Like, that's all they want. It's like AEW is conditioning their hardcores to only want the wrestling. And great, we want wrestling. There's nothing wrong with wrestling. But Dynamite, Tony Khan, AEW, you should pull back on the wrestling on Wednesday nights and give us more promos, more storylines, more clips. Why? Because you charge $50 for a pay-per-view. You should make us want to pay for the wrestling. Yep. You can give us some wrestling on Wednesday nights, but you give us too much. So I don't even know what really stood out. I mean, the whole Miro stuff over a broken video game cabinet was kind of cringe. I mean, the highlight of the night for me was Eddie Kingston, because his accent's great on commentary and doing the whole thing with Moxley. But, I mean, does the mainstream people, other than the diehards, know who Eddie Kingston is? Tell us more. So what's everyone's thoughts on Dynamite's 1-year anniversary? To me, seemed like just another show. Jeff, I'll start with you.
It was a great. I thought it was a great in-ring action style show. Every time I was on the line, you get every championship being defended. It was a cool marketing gimmick. The Miro thing was very cringe. I'm not even gonna lie about that. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat that crap. That was terrible. I said it on Twitter. I thought the MJF Jericho thing went a little bit too long. I mean, it was still good, but a little bit too long. But I could sit there and sing along to Judas all day. Like I will be in. If I ever get to go to Daly's place, I'll be in that crowd, singing the most off key of anybody. Max will definitely hear me in the crowd. That's true, because I'm a horrible singer, as we found out Saturday at my friend's birthday party.
Jeff, think about it. With kind of the crowd there. Now, granted, there's not many people there, right, because of the pandemic. Kind of gave MJF and Jericho some crickets. Does Jericho blow them up because of Judas and they get all their energy out during his entrance now? I don't know.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, people get so, I mean, they show people in the crowd. They are like, they're moving with the song. They're like full on in the song. And then when Jericho gives them that little smile to make sure they get that pop out of it, they're like, okay, we're done. We can sleep now. Like, we don't give a shit. And that was grossly unfair to both MJF and Chris, because the segment was a bit long, but it was a great segment. I'm kind of curious what this whole steak dinner is I'm not sure if I'm drawn to that next Wednesday. I'm intrigued, but not so much so that, oh my God, I have to watch that first.
Well, the question is, who's getting fucked?
Well, okay, there's Aaron's one F-bomb for the day. There's Aaron. Okay, Aaron took the F-bomb away from me. I see how it is. That's fine. Fine, whatever. It's your channel. You do you. Boo.
Exactly.
So, I like the show, and I haven't watched NXT yet, I'll be honest, because I've just been crazy busy today, but I'm definitely intrigued of where they're going to go. But Virtue, you made a good point. They're charging $50 for pay-per-views. Like, in the era of $10 a month for everything, not just pay-per-views, they have to make us want to see something. Yeah. I have zero interest and zero cares about finding a stream for these pay-per-views. I don't care if I come off as a jerk or a thief or whatever. I'm not throwing down $50 for an AEW pay-per-view. I'm not.
Well, I mean, look at Moxley. He defeated Archer. Like, they build these guys up. Oh, if you're a big guy in AEW, you'll get there, but you won't win. I mean, Brody Lee did win the TNT title, but he lost it pretty quickly when Cody came back.
And honestly, do any of us in this room actually think Eddie Kingston's going to be the next world champion? I mean, I love Eddie. No.
No, and Jeff, if Chris Jericho had Judas play for 3 hours, would you spend $50 on a pay-per-view?
Hell yeah.
If they play in the background with the wrestling, maybe.
Yeah, I just don't know what we're going to get at Full Gear that's going to be a must-see match. I guess Kenny Omega versus Adam Page and Young Bucks versus FTR. Who's Moxley going to face? We got less than a month now until the pay-per-view.
No, wait a minute. Is Kenny Omega versus Adam Page already set in stone?
No, but they're doing the tournament, and I think
see what I'm saying? That's why I hate these type of brackets.
Well, and the finals of the tournament are going to be at Full Gear, so you got to believe they're building toward Hangman and Omega.
I mean, that's the match people want to see. So I mean, they should go the predictable route. I just wish they would just announce the match and not bother with the tournament.
Nick makes a great point in the chat, or Nick Lavin. The dog collar match should have been a pay-per-view match. I mean, granted, it looked great on TNT, and then get away with that kind of stuff on TNT because it was a cable show.
But
It's a big match.
You go from that to Darby Allin, and I like Darby, but Darby versus Cody, we already saw it. Cody already beat him. I guess Orange Cassidy could potentially win the title when they do Darby versus Orange for a different matchup, but I'm not really crazy about seeing Darby versus Cody. I mean, Cody took his best move, the coffin drop, and just countered him into a pinfall and won the match.
Yeah, Cody did everything in the dog collar match a week earlier, and then he has to sell for Orange Cassidy. That's where, Orange Cassidy should be fighting the Darby Allins. Like, they should be against each other. If you want your main level people, don't try to put the Orange Cassidys against them because you think that's going to get them over. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
But you know what, Virtue? I liked Cody's frustration against Cassidy. Like, he just was getting so irritated that Cassidy wouldn't friggin' wrestle. And eventually it drew it out of him. So it was kind of a cool evolution through the match. I didn't mind that so much. Now, in the rematch in 2 weeks, if they do that same shtick, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, maybe they're doing a triple threat. I mean, that's a possibility, although AEW doesn't do a lot of triple threats. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, AEW should show more backstage sketches and promos.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a balanced mix. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, we don't need 20-minute matches every time. Like,
no, we don't.
Make people pay for that.
And as I said on the Dynamite stream, the women's match wasn't too good. And you look at the PWI top 100 for the women, and the WWE women are like the top 5 spots. Like, they're dominating it. AEW still has work to do with the women's division, and
they do.
FTR, it's kind of getting a little bit repetitive now. I mean, they're good wrestlers, but I mean, I think there's a reason WWE wanted to do comedy with them because they needed some kind of.
And another thing here, like, they tried to be cool. They tried to be cool and clever with this. Who attacked Matt Hardy, and then it's just Sammy Guevara, who he had been feuding with anyway. What a letdown. Like, nothing against that, but why even go that route at all? Just have Sammy come right out from the beginning and admit it was him.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what I mean? That's bait switch.
Nick Lavin said in the chat room that the problem is they're trying to make everybody look good, and, they end up doing long matches with guys that have no chance of winning, to try and elevate them. But, I mean, after a while, it gets tiresome.
Well, here's what I was going to say before. You mentioned the women's division. The women's division problem is kind of a microcosm of the overall problem. They have the big stars, but they're not establishing new stars.
Yeah.
I can't think of one person in the women's division other than Britt Baker, off the top of my head anyway, that was a major star either on the indies or somewhere else prior to coming to AEW. Serena Deeb is there, but she's not there all the time.
Right.
Great point, Jeff. And see, why should we care about what's her name, the champion?
Hikaru Shida.
Shida, okay. You should have the title on Britt Baker. She's the one getting promos with Tony Schiavone. Let her be the heel that cheats. Let somebody chase her so we can get invested into caring, wow, Britt, you're such a B. We want Shida to beat you now. Like, that's how they should do it.
Yes. I
Easy
agree.
formula.
All right, we do have
we'll get to you, Big G. Hold on.
Yeah, Big G. He got his
Sorry,
time.
Big G.
He got his 5 minutes at the beginning, and now he's in time.
He's not a big Dynamite guy, but we'll get to him.
Yeah.
He's got 5.
All right, Colin Andrews sent us a $3 super chat. Says, really, Miro upset over a video game? Yeah, you guys, if you listen to my recap, you know how I feel about Miro. They're totally misusing him, in my opinion. He should be an ass-kicking babyface coming out there, winning 2-minute squash matches, and just dominating, going through the roster, and build him up eventually for a world title match. But Big G, let's get your thoughts on it. What do you agree or disagree with, Big G?
I thought Dynamite was okay yesterday. I mean, it wasn't the best show, like everybody mentioned already. The whole Miro thing, it's weird seeing, like everybody said already, complaining about a broken video game. It was the keyboard for the arcade system that, and
Miro's well off. I mean, are we supposed to believe he cannot easily afford a replacement?
I get, right. Yeah. And it wasn't even his; it was Kip Sabian's, I think.
Oh well, in that case, Kip Sabian's probably,
so
a lot more desperate for the cash.
seeing Orange Cassidy lasting 20 minutes with Cody is really weird. You know,
And he ran through. I mean, with Jericho every time.
yeah, he
too.
beat Jericho twice. It's crazy. I did enjoy the MJF and Chris Jericho thing. I sang along to Judas in the living room.
Every time, man.
I think if everything works out, I think Fozzie's going to be in Harrisburg, PA next May. So depending on how the whole COVID thing goes,
Right.
I might be going to that. I'm not too sure yet. I want to.
For hell of a spring with your wedding and the Fozzy concert. I'm just throwing it out there, man.
There we go. Woo woo. What else happened during Dynamite? I mean, you guys all made great points. I sat here and enjoyed listening to your points. So, there's not much else for me to say. On to the next topic, Virtue.
Well, the next topic, let's talk about the WWE Women's Division a little bit here. Like, who do they currently have that could be a next main event star? With Charlotte could be back soon. They have Carmella back on SmackDown. But, who could, we know Bayley and Sasha have their thing going right now, so I'm really not too concerned about that over on SmackDown. But, who can challenge Asuka? I mean, for Pete's sake, they just had Lana, who's been through 4 tables at the hands of Nia Jax over the past month plus. Yes. All of a sudden, got a sneak win in a battle royal, and we know that she's not going to beat Asuka, and if anything, it'll be a pretty quick squash. We need a contender, Eva Marie rumors, her coming back. I don't know if she's learned to wrestle better, but she's polarizing. She's got the look. I'm a big proponent of Mandy Rose getting a push because I know she's got that look that Vince McMahon likes. I just want them to focus on pushing a female star that they haven't, so we can maybe get behind it. What's everyone's thoughts with this? I mean, Aaron, what do you got to say?
Okay, well, Angry Popcorn TV brought up Alexa Bliss. Now that she's with The Fiend,
Yes,
I think you can have the repackaged Alexa Bliss go for Asuka's title. Yeah, you got Charlotte, but we've already seen Asuka versus Charlotte so many times. I'd like to see Naomi perhaps get an opportunity. People have been saying give Naomi a chance. I say build her up a little bit. Just some fresh matchups, Use some of the new women on Raw that we haven't seen on Raw and haven't really faced Asuka. I want to see some new matchups. I don't want to see Asuka versus Charlotte again. So if you're going to utilize Charlotte whenever she comes back, I say maybe get her a partner and have her go for the tag team titles. So that's my take on it.
Thoughts on if Eva Marie does come back? I mean, I don't know. She really didn't do much when she was there first time, but the rumors are out there.
Yeah, and Shayna Baszler, I want to see her versus Asuka at some point. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. They did the whole tag team thing. I know Big G's just dying for it. So Big G, other than Shayna,
time out. Aaron, I asked you, what's your thought on Eva Marie, the rumor? If you don't care because you're not getting hits on that article.
I'm completely ignoring it because it's not even worth answering.
It's an ass. Something you promote from your feature section with bikini pictures all the time. She could come back and you don't care. Yeah, I'm not buying that. Big G, what do you think here with all these women discussion? Who could be a next potential big star?
Oh, obviously Shayna Baszler. She's doing okay. She's doing
said
fine.
Other than Shayna.
Okay, other than Shayna, fine.
You are just spicy today there, boss man. You're taking my F away from me. You're picking on Big G and Shayna love. You're totally ignoring the fact that Eva Marie, the greatest of all time, may come back. You are salty, Rift.
I'm still mad that people said my Miro tweet was a bad take, so I got to take it out.
It was a bad take. It was completely 100% legitimate.
Get out of me. Oh my god. Anyway, so besides Shayna Baszler, I could see Alexa Bliss. That'll be an interesting feud. I'm sure we'll get Lacey Evans versus Asuka down the road now that Lacey's back on there.
She's a fresh face, though, in terms of title picture contention.
Yeah. Naomi, Aaron mentioned. I'd like to see her. That'd be cool.
What title did she have? The SmackDown Women's title?
Okay,
yeah. So she had that.
Who else?
I mentioned Mandy Rose, but it looks like she's going to be.
Maybe if Eva Marie comes back, maybe she'll get a title shot. But
Lana did. Lana is.
So, Mandy Rose is another one you mentioned. Virtue, I could see that.
She's going to be a tag team division, I think, right now.
Yeah. Who else is on Raw? for God's sakes, do not put Charlotte back in there with Asuka. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
love
on Raw.
Charlotte. I love
and I have a
Charlotte to
feeling.
I love Charlotte to death. But, you know, like Aaron said, we've seen this match plenty times already. You know, maybe when maybe if Ronda decides to come back, or when she comes back, we could see Ronda versus Asuka, you know, or when Becky comes back after her pregnancy and all that stuff happens. And if and when she decides to come back, we could see Becky versus Asuka. You know, there's so many fresh matchups, but I have a feeling WWE is just gonna, you know, close their eyes, pull names out of their hat, and it's gonna be Charlotte versus Asuka.
Yeah. Now, what
Just
about
wait.
Mandy Rose? We're actually getting a lot of comments in the chat about Mandy. Maybe Jeff could give his take on that.
Well, and Jeff,
I
before you
will
start,
gladly give my. Okay,
I did include Mandy Rose in one of my articles a couple weeks ago, including who should get pushed to a main event level. I don't know if she's a great worker in the ring, but she's got the look, and she could be polarizing. So people are talking about her in the chat. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Now, real quickly.
Sharon, back to you before Jeff.
Yeah, before Jeff, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, "Hey Aaron, what's your favorite Eva Marie moment when she left?"
Oh, yeah, she read it. Oh, wow. Okay, he did read it. That's why. Okay. Mandy Rose is not, you know, she's there as far as the in-ring skills. She's been training since her Tough Enough days. She's actually got it better down than Eva Marie did. That's for damn sure. So I'm all for her getting pushed. Here's what I would do, and this is just my own personal thing. Becky's due in January, Aaron, or late December?
Something like that.
December.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's roughly almost 3 full months to WrestleMania. Here's what I would do. I would feed everybody to Asuka. I'm talking about Dana Brooke, Mandy, Eva, she comes back, Lacey, everybody, just one at a time. And then at the end of the Rumble, Becky, who should be enough recovered by then, shows up and wins the Rumble again. And then takes back off to, you know, be with the baby again. And then everybody forgets about her. And then when WrestleMania starts getting built, she goes, yeah, by the way, Asuka, I'm next. And we get Asuka and Becky, which we never really 100% got
There you go.
Mania.
Because
I'd love to see that. And
Great idea, Jeff. Although I would rather have, and this will tie into another topic later, Ronda be number 30 and come back and piss everybody off and win it.
I swear to God, if it's not Becky, I will pop worse than anybody, because I crapped on Ronda when she left because of the way she acted. I full on admit that, and that's fine. But I'd love to see her come back and do something, even if it means she wins the Rumble and Becky gets her she gets her revenge on Becky for that screwy finish a couple of WrestleManias ago.
Yeah.
Charlotte coming back, I do agree with you putting her in her tag team, maybe with Becky, maybe with somebody else. That's the one title she hasn't had, is the tag team titles. Yeah. So if they want to establish Charlotte as the greatest of all time, like we all keep thinking is going to happen, she needs to be a Triple Crown or whatever, or a Grand Slam champion. She's got to win the tag belts to do that. So, you know, maybe Dana and Mandy could be a tag team championship contending team. There is possibility. Yeah. Unlike the AEW women's division, sorry AEW fans in advance, there is depth on this WWE roster if they're used properly. Problem is, they're not using properly right now.
No.
Naomi's also up there, for the record. I would love to see Naomi get a shot now that she's away from the SmackDown shenanigans. Have her get a Raw shot.
Hey, Jeff. Adrian said, typical male comment, JM, it hurts to give birth.
I understood. I have a child, you blithering idiot. I know how it goes, okay? It doesn't mean that everybody has their own recovery time, okay? Some people bounce back right away. Some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned.
Mine happened not to. My son Dill's mom happened not to. She has special circumstances. Kind of is what it is. If anybody can bounce back and be an athlete again, I'm sure it's Becky Lynch. She's a kick-ass person, so.
You're going to love this topic. We're going to move on here.
Wait a minute.
Oh, my God.
Aaron?
We got a super chat from Psycho Jet Black. He says, seriously, have Alexa Bliss win the title from Alexa. I think he meant Asuka.
I meant Asuka.
Then you would have Nikki Cross for the title at WrestleMania 37. Also, Eva Marie is better than Cameron. I agree on that.
You're on a different show than Nikki, though. Nikki's on SmackDown now.
Cameron.
No, Nikki's on Raw.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nikki's on Raw now, and yeah, you could do that at some point. You could revisit Alexa versus Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
It depends on what they do with Alexa, but I think there's a lot of potential for her on Raw to win the title from Asuka. And as far as SmackDown goes, I could see Bianca Belair feuding with Sasha Banks for the title at some point.
Well, that's right. She's over on SmackDown now.
Yeah, to freshen things up. And, I could see Bianca getting the big push. And Eva Marie, I would say she's better than Cameron. I think Eva Marie had a decent performance at WrestleMania 32 in that pre-show match. Cameron, she was in AEW, right? And that didn't really pan out too well for her.
WrestleMania 32, the longest day of Aaron and Maya's professional life.
Yes, for many reasons.
Oh, my God.
And who knows? Maybe Tessa Blanchard will show up.
You know what? I didn't bring her up. I saw Adrian bring her up. Why not? Why not pull that trigger and have Tessa come in?
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on. This won't be a long topic, but who do you miss the most? And I'm going to name some names here because we see all these wrestlers bounce back and forth, and they've been in one fed or the other. Now, obviously, we know Daniel Bryan's coming back soon, so I think this Friday night on SmackDown, correct?
Yeah.
Great, but the name, John Cena, which will tie into our main event. CM Punk is an obvious choice everybody talks about. Brock Lesnar, he's been called. Charlotte, which not many people other than diehard Charlotte fans will talk about her. Becky, Ronda, Enzo. I had to throw Enzo out there. I think he's kind of displaced himself from the wrestling business, though. Big G, if he had to pick one of the big names that could shock and make Aaron's site crash. Well, maybe not crash, but we know Punk did.
Punk. We all know that happened firsthand.
That's what we just don't have really anymore. And if somebody comes back, it's heavily promoted, and it's not necessarily a huge surprise. So who do you miss?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. If they did bring somebody back, say, okay, I do kind of miss CM Punk, but then I kind of don't. He's been out of the game for so long.
I just
but
it's so intriguing. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
So, say they do bring CM Punk back.
AJ Lee, too, is another one.
AJ Lee, there you go. They won't keep it a surprise. They would announce it on their social media or something. They won't let it build up and get that initial reaction from the fans. Say like Royal Rumble, CM Punk decides to come back, and by the way, entering at number 30 is CM Punk. You'd be like, what the hell?
Could you imagine if they had arenas again, though, and Punk's music hit 27? I mean, just the internet Aaron's site would crash.
Yeah,
I think so.
You can say you're mad at him because he's never come back and he's old news now because you want him back, but he's not coming back, so that makes you angry. The fact is, if he ever did, 99% of wrestling fans would be buzzing over it.
Oh, yeah. Now, I do miss AJ Lee. She had that spunk about her, and I think who else? I could see John Cena coming back possibly to have one more world title run,
right?
But now
Brock's
that
that,
so he's kind of a big movie star now. He's transitioned over from wrestler to movie star.
Well, that's our main event, so say
who else?
The Rock.
I do miss Ronda Rousey. I was a big fan of hers when she came. I enjoyed the WrestleMania 34 match with her and Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie. Who else?
I'm sorry. I'm going to say it again. Enzo. Because people don't like him.
I agree.
He's good on the mic.
I like Enzo.
He's a great ragdoll. He can take great bumps. Just don't make him work long matches or put him as a cruiserweight champion. The fact is, he sold merch.
Yeah, he did.
He sold merch.
I bought the merch.
And they let Matt Riddle on TV.
I bought the merch.
Velveteen Dream still in NXT. Enzo doesn't have a job at least as a manager. Jeff hates him. So it would be a guy that Jeff would hate. Jeff would always want to see the guy against Enzo or whoever Enzo manages to go over. That's something.
I enjoyed Enzo. He could talk on the mic. He would be a great manager. But with everything that went on with him too, and now I think he's a part-time rapper or whatever. But if they come back, great. If they don't come back, it's not like the biggest deal in the world. So
gotcha. Well, Jeff Mitchell, what do you think? Who do you miss the most?
Well, it's funny, I'm kind of reading the chats as I go here, and somebody didn't get mentioned except by one person in the chat room. I have to bring it up.
Glacier.
We've seen all these guys come out over, huh?
Glacier.
Why you gotta steal my shit, Thunder? You're fired from your own channel. You suck, Aaron. All right, whatever. I won't do it now. Okay. I was gonna build and say Glacier just to throw everybody for a loop, but Aaron's being a dick today, so that's fine. Punk is definitely on top of my list, but there has to be a crowd. There can't be a Thunderdome. It has to be a crowd situation because CM Punk returning needs that huge oh my god pop when that music hits. Because if Cult of Personality hits in a live arena with live people, Aaron's site will definitely crash. WWE.com might friggin' crash. It'll be that huge. We'll talk about John in a few minutes. He's not coming back for full time. Let me just throw it out there now. AJ Lee is a great choice. She would be a good breath of fresh air in the women's division. There's ton of fresh matches there because as she was leaving, the Revolution really kicked into high gear. You figure the Four Horsewomen came up, Asuka came over, all these people came up and or over from different territories. I would love to see AJ against all of them. That'd be a great series of matches with everybody. That's really my top two is AJ Lee and CM Punk. Of those two, again, you bring Enzo back. Honestly, Virtue, I know you said I want to see him get his ass whooped. I'm gonna grab the remote and turn the damn channel and put on Animal Planet or some stupid other shit besides that. I don't even want to bother watching Enzo.
You'd be in a minority. You'd be in a minority.
I know I would, and that's fine. I can't stand him that much. I can't have him be on my TV. He bugs. Oh God. Again,
Undertaker, Goldberg.
No, definitely not Goldberg.
Yeah, do not mention Goldberg to Jeff Meacham. Just saying.
No. And Aaron knows why better than anybody. But Undertaker would be a great, if we get his last big hurrah at Mania next year, crowd or no crowd, that'd be something cool to see. But overall, Punk and AJ are definitely my top two. Please come back. Pretty please. So.
All right. Well, thank you. How about you, Aaron Rift?
Okay, so...
he already said Glacier. He's done.
Yeah, well, actually, besides Glacier, a close second after Glacier would be CM Punk, of course, for the obvious reasons. The Rock, because I think he would bring in a lot of casual viewers back to the product, and that will also help me business-wise. And Rock is just very entertaining. CM Punk and The Rock would be must-see TV. Enzo Amore, even though he would not make the difference that CM Punk and Rock would make, I would still be entertained to see him back doing his thing. And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, I would pop if Bart Gunn won the Royal Rumble. I would pop if he was in it. I don't know if I would pop if he won it, but if he was in it. If we had the Brawl for All music and he came out and then he got immediately eliminated.
Oh my God.
I'd pop for that. That would be a nice moment. Our buddy Mo Camera sent in a $7 super chat, says, why are we talking about John Cena? He's no Austin or Rock. He is garbage. Use like Roman. Screw those guys. Overrated. We're going to talk about John Cena.
All of our Roman headlines and thumbnails on the reviews do our best traffic. So we're got with John Cena this week after Jericho and AEW bombed for views last week. So there you have it.
I will reply to Mo's comment during our main event. I'll reply to that during the event.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says Jeff Meacham is a Simon Gotch fan. Is that true?
Who's Simon Gotch?
Oh, snap.
Hot villains.
Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? I was thinking Simon American Idol. Yes, I actually did like Simon Gotch. I was in the same promotion as Simon Gotch before he became Simon Gotch. So.
Well, hopefully he doesn't watch this video because I don't.
No, I feel bad now. I was like, shit.
I think you'll be added to his block list.
Love to see Aiden English return too.
Sorry. What?
Aaron would love to see Aiden English return.
Yes, I want to hear more singing. I want to hear more rapping from Enzo. I want some entertainers. I don't want all this flippy shit. I want some entertainers.
Elias, Enzo, and Aiden can do a collaboration on an album. How great would that be?
BMB right there. So, Aaron, are you covered then? Are we ready to move on to the main event?
The game is on 100. Sent in $10. Thank you for that. He says, I miss the no-names face upper talent on these shows back in the mid-'80s to early '90s, like Superstars Challenge. That's the way to set up storyline, and interview segments were so fun back in the day. Well, maybe AEW will do that with their third hour, their third show, whatever they're calling it, on TNT. Maybe they could do a Superstars-like show to showcase the younger talent and do video packages and whatnot. And the other person I wanted to mention that we did not discuss, Monty Brown. I don't know if you guys saw that video that was posted on Lance Archer's channel.
He's been gone for such a long time.
That dude oozes so much charisma. And I thought he should have been a big star. Jeff, why are you shaking your head?
I just am.
What's wrong with Monty Brown?
He was relevant 15 years ago, for real.
Did you see his promo?
And that's nice.
Yeah. Who could cut a better promo than him?
Who could have a better promo than him? Shall we dig out the old XMVs from back in 15 years ago and
Or are
compare
you
them?
saying that
I'm talking about
WWE
right
should
now.
put him on- are you
Right
saying
now?
WWE should put him on Raw and make him the new third New Day member. Is that what you're saying, Aaron?
Sure.
No, I'm saying he should come back and hit some people with the pounds, period.
Gotcha.
Oh Lord.
Well, let's move on. The main event time. John Cena. John Cena is married. Like, wow. But, he had been married before, so it's not like it just didn't work out with Nikki, okay? He's married to Shay. Shay is his wife's name. Beautiful woman. And he's also the voice of Honda. John Cena's been on multiple commercials. He's a movie star. He's not anywhere close to The Rock, but he is bigger than the WWE, which we know today, usually they just don't let superstars get that way. Roman's probably the closest. So is John ever going to come back? Obviously, Jeff, it would be part-time. And what would be the big money thing for him? I'll start with you, Jeff. Obviously, it would be something with WrestleMania like The Rock did. So have at it with good old Johnny Boy.
Well, first of all, to reply to Mo Cameron's ridiculous comment about he's nowhere near on the level of Rock or Austin, to quote the shirt that still isn't on the new NoDQ merch site, here's the thing.
Yep.
Grand total,
Like 50 minutes.
Austin's major time on top of the industry, 3 years, maybe 4, right? Rock. Total time being The Rock, the most electrifying guy of all entertainment, 4 years. John Cena was consistently the guy in WWE, the headline guy, for over 10 years. And that was at a time, unlike when Hogan was champion, where you had to be the WWE champion, you had to be the face on PR, you had to be in commercials, you were in movies, John Cena was like the combination of The Rock's little microcosm that he did while he was still with the company and still carrying the company like Hogan did.
And that's what's made it so hard on Roman Reigns.
Yes, exactly. The fact is, the WWE wanted us so bad to believe that Roman Reigns was John Cena 2.0. Roman is a great talent, and Virtue, I am all in with you on being Roman's guy. He is an amazing talent. He's got a great charisma. He can cut a promo. He doesn't necessarily need Paul, but he has not been around on top for over 10 years like John was. So for Mo Cameron or anybody to say that John is not at a level of those of Rock, Austin, Hogan is complete horse crap. So, now.
Well said.
What the hell? Oh, yeah, there's the water. There you go. Very good. Thank you. I don't know what the hell that means. That's okay.
That was supposed to be a mic drop.
Oh, mic drop. Well, here.
I don't think he's done.
There you go.
I mean, we're going to hit our hour. I wanted to hit a 50-minute show
We are.
today. No, Jeff.
And I'm sorry but as far as him coming back now, yeah, it's going to be a WrestleMania thing. It's not going to be a full-time situation. I am very happy for him that he got married, and there's a lot of people crapping on both him and Shay on various message boards and comments, and I think it's just so unnecessary.
Especially wrestling fans, or you know what I mean?
And that's fine. Why is it not okay for John to be happy, but it's okay for Nikki to be happy with Artem? Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing that people, fans of the industry, can't be just happy for human beings being happy? That's the whole problem with wrestling fans, period, in my opinion. So that's a whole other show. John coming back, if he does come back, it's got to be in a main slot. Now, he had a big moment with Bray, if you want to call the Firefly Funhouse match a big moment. That was, quote-unquote, 6 years in the making. And I thought that came off better than I hoped it would. It was very well done. Yeah. But who do you put John with now? Like, what is there for John Cena to do that John Cena hasn't done yet? That's the key to bringing.
If they can't get Rock, Roman defends against Cena at WrestleMania. Cena going for the record.
Exactly. That's the one thing that John has not done, is decisively beat Roman Reigns in the middle of the ring or put him over in a title match. That's the key. Roman Reigns is John Cena's last hurrah, one way or the other.
Well said. Thank you, Jeff. I'm going to pass it over to you, Big G.
What can I say? John Cena married. Yeah, we know he's been married before. He had the whole thing with Nikki that didn't work out. And I liked how it was a private ceremony. Nobody knew it until somebody put it out yesterday.
Almost nobody.
I looked up the Shay girl, his wife. I read a little about her and stuff like that. Seems like a good lady, good fit for John. Obviously, John's doing the movies, commercials. The hefty commercials, and now he's part of Honda.
Oh my God!
He's doing some voice over acting show or some voiceover on a show on Sci-Fi at nighttime. If John does come back, I think, like Jeff said, perfect example against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, for the title. Other than that, I don't see John Cena coming back. He does not need to come back. He's proven to everybody that he is up there with The Rock, with Austin, with Hogan. Even Ric Flair,
Woo.
There's not much for him to do. It's I like him being in the movies. He's supposed to be in Fast 9 coming out, I think, now in 2022 because it got pushed back again.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting to see. He's up there with Vin Diesel. I think, he pretty much replaced The Rock, in the Fast and the Furious movies now. And it'll be interesting, to see if John Cena can get up to The Rock's level in movies. Because The Rock is the highest paid actor, I think, this past year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So, like I said, me personally, my opinion, John does not need to come back. He does not. He does not need to prove anything to me. He's done it all. Okay, yeah, he has.
And then he comes back and Big G's doing this.
Right?
Exactly. The only title he hasn't won is the IC title, but that's not really a big deal. So.
Well, certainly not.
Well,
they didn't even draft Sami Zayn, and he was the champ.
So,
all right, Aaron.
That's my spiel.
Over to you. Man, that has to be a 100-page prenup, I'm telling you, because I know John Cena, he made sure he was well taken care of, I'm sure.
Unless that was all just a gimmick for the Total Bellas, the drama.
No.
Jeff?
I don't think so. But anyway.
You would know.
I'm not saying anything. Nope.
No, he's keeping his mouth shut. All right.
Nope.
Over to you, Aaron.
Jeff's not going to get himself in trouble here. All right.
Nope.
This Guy Experience sent in a $2 super chat, says, I like you, Jeff, but leave the Kiss Roman's Butt Club.
Fuck off, dude. For real.
Hey, you just dropped the F-bomb.
I don't care. I'll pay the fine, whatever. Look, I've never disliked Roman Reigns. I never said one way or the other. Nor did I say that I was 100% in the quote club. I disagree with Virtue. Virtue's been saying all along how awesome Roman is. He had to prove it to me, and I admit that I was a dick with Roman. He has proven it to me ever since he came back. This tribal chief thing, this master of dominance thing, it's worked for me. I like it. I'm over it. So I'm not in the Kiss Roman Butt Club. Kiss my ass. How about that, buddy?
Whoa, all right. Anyways, I do think John Cena will be back. I do not think he will be back until we have fans again in the arenas, a full crowd, not a 25% capacity. Full crowd. When the time comes that WWE wants to do a big arena or stadium event, they're going to bring in the big guns, Cena, Rock, Undertaker. They're all going to come back for the big show. And Cena will do it. He's going to do whatever he can to help the company. He will always be part of the WWE family. And I think we will see him back. I think we will see him go for that 17th world title. And I think he's going to get it. I think he will break the record, be a 17-time world champion, and whether it's against Roman Reigns or Drew McIntyre or could be Randy Orton again, they could go back to that for the 1,000th time. Anything's possible. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, will we ever see John Cena versus Goldberg? Probably not.
No.
But I would
thought.
Definitely go with a never say never.
Right. Well, and to reply to the comment guy, I'm not mad at you, okay? We were cool yesterday during my show, but please leave my name out of your mouth when trying to say I'm in somebody's Kiss My Butt Club, okay? That's just kind of silly.
Yeah, Jeff is not amused by that, so.
Nope, not at all.
Watch what you say. to everybody in the chat room. Do not piss. Instead of don't piss Jeff Jarrett off, don't piss Jeff Meacham off.
I actually had that shirt somewhere in this menagerie of crap in here. I'll throw it on if I have to.
And when will John Cena go into the Hall of Fame, asks Angry Popcorn TV. I mean, he could really go in any time, but I think it'll be a couple more years before he goes in. Maybe 5 years. Whenever they need a guy to headline, John Cena will be the man.
I think he goes in after The Rock.
Oh, for sure.
Better.
Yeah, I think The Rock will go in first. But
that
yeah,
I agree with, BG. He better. I agree with that. He better.
Yeah, we will see Cena again. We will see him. Even though we can't see him, we will see him back. And it'll be a big deal whenever it does happen. I'm looking forward to it.
You'll get a phone call from John Cena.
Well, great discussion. There you have it, NoDQ guys.
I already did.
We're going to start the rounds right now because this might linger on. So, Big G, do your plugs.
Yeah, so NoDQ.com/BigBiology takes you to my Twitter. NoDQ_BigBiology1988 on Instagram. Jeff Hilton on Facebook. That's it for me. Jeff, take it away.
All right, I'm going to try to do this the way I laid out to Aaron so he can put the graphics up in the right order here. But no graphics. Oh, shit. All right. JeffMeachamNetwork.com takes you everywhere. It takes you to the YouTube, takes you to the Anchor page, takes you to my social media. Everything is there. JeffMeachamNetwork.com.
All one word.
Jeff, over to you, Aaron.
All right, and there's the store for the Jeff Meacham Network with all the T-shirts, although he's had new T-shirts done, so I got to update the graphic. Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, Jerry, by the way, for the updated logos and shirts, man. God bless you, Greg, for real.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, I want John Cena to come back and bury Retribution, just like he did Nexus. I would not be opposed to that. I think everybody would be up for that.
I'll make a phone call later.
All right, so before we wrap this up, if anybody wants to send in a super chat for an encore question, we'll stay on a little bit longer.
Virtue's like, let's go.
This guy Experience sent in a $2 super chat, says, wow, Jeff, chill out. We can have a debate, my guy. Ooh, he's challenging you to a debate.
What is there to... Okay, first of all, Adrian and I still have to have our debate, which we've set up the topic. Aaron just needs to make it happen, first of all. Second of all, what is there to debate? You purposely paid Aaron money to call me a member of the Roman Reigns Kiss My Butt Club, which is complete horseshit. It's not. I'm not a member of the Roman fan club. I like Roman, but I'm not in his fan club. So
that could be the topic. Is Jeff Meacham a Roman Reigns ass kicker?
So if you want to ask, by the way, yeah, ass kicker, God, no, I am not even going there with no. If you want to have a 5-minute show, Aaron, to try to generate numbers, fine.
Is that how quickly you would smoke him?
That's how quickly he'd smoke me because he thinks what he believes what he says, that I'm in the Roman Reigns Kiss My Ass Club, and I'm not. So I hate there.
Well, speaking of debates,
Speaking about debate, Aaron, you wanted to say what might happen?
Well, we do have a debate scheduled for Saturday night, everybody. 10 o'clock Eastern. Yes. It's a bit of a late night session, but we got Mr. Tito to face Virtue in a great no DQ debate, and we are going to have 3 topics, best out of 3. We're going to be talking about Roman Reigns. Is he the man or is he not? Virtue, of course. Yes. I think you guys know which side he's going to take on that one. We got the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Virtue, I think, is also going pro-Fiend. Is that correct?
Yep, pro-Bray, pro-Fiend. Yep.
And then the third topic, who is the bigger creative genius? Paul Heyman or Vince Russo?
God, I can't wait. That might be my favorite of the 3, even though Roman Reigns will probably be the main event. But Saturday night, 10 o'clock, I hope.
I will be in the chat for that one for sure.
As long as we don't have technical difficulties.
Well, hopefully Tito comes through. I mean, we had Tito on earlier and chatted with him just to get everything set up, and he's in. So I think we'll have it up Saturday night live stream. We're going live with it, so make sure you guys tune in for that and tell your friends. It's going to be a fun debate. And hey, it works right now. We got the election coming up, and there's apparently going to be a debate next week, but we're going to be doing the No DQ debate to make up for no debate this week. No DQ debate returns. I'll be moderating it, so you guys will see me. I'll be asking the questions, and I will mute people if they talk too much. So I will lay down the law.
So I have one question before, because we're actually at an hour right now. Is whoever wins, Mr. Tito or Virtue, are they the master debater if they win?
Correct.
Okay, just making sure.
I mean, it's subjective, but we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes. I'm confident.
Well, we'll have to have the chat room decide. I'll even do a poll on the NoDQ
There you go.
YouTube channel to declare who the winner is. And I'm sure Virtue will say it's rigged if Tito's winning. But if Virtue's winning, of course, it's on the up and up.
Michael's comments just barbaric. That's terrible.
Yeah, he said Tito is Lesnar, Virtue is Cena, SummerSlam 2014.
Hey, you wrong for that, Mike. You wrong for
Not
that.
even close.
Damn.
Not even close. Yeah, and speaking of which, Cena's got the 16 titles. How many does Lesnar have?
Well, Lesnar has 16 suplexes. That's the thing. So there's that.
All
All
right.
right, well, is that it, Aaron? Can I close the show?
NoDQ.com. Stay tuned for the latest wrestling news and rumors. And thank you guys again. Subscribe, like, tell a friend. Twitter is back, so make sure you guys tweet a link to this
Twitter
video. It would be
machine.
very much appreciated.
Twitter.
And even at me, at NoDQ.com or DOTCOM and at Aaron Rift. And give me a compliment and I'll retweet it. I'm all for
When
that.
Twitter's working, that is.
Yes, like I said, it is working. It is back
Okay, good.
and better than ever, hopefully. Anyways,
There you
Virtue,
have it.
go ahead and wrap us up.
Follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue. My Facebook page, NoDQ.com/Virtue. That is it. The NoDQ Great Debate hopefully will be Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. Tito versus Virtue. So for Big G, for Jeff Meacham, for Aaron Rift, I am Virtue. We'll see you next time, NoDQ Galaxy. Bye.